Go ahead, Liz.
Okay, folks, so we're going to work on 3.11 right now, adding a custom exploit to Metasploit. So again, we're going to be using the same two machines, our Debian Linux machine and our Windows machine. So hopefully we all got the firewall appropriately disabled. Otherwise, as you saw, our last assignment wouldn't work properly. So hopefully we've got that done. I'm going to go ahead and skip that step because presumably everyone's got their firewall turned off everywhere that it needs to be. However, I can't remember whether I have data execution protection turned off. So let's go ahead and check up on that. Some of you may still have yours turned on, and that's going to have to be off in order for our next project to work properly. So what we'll do is we will go down to the start menu and type in control, and it brings up our control panel. So let's get into our control panel. Now we're going to go into system and security. Oh, I'm not even showing my whole screen. You need to see that, don't you? That would be helpful. So after you've gone into your control panel, you want to go ahead and click on System and Security. Now, when you're inside System and Security, you can see there are a lot of different areas that you can go to in here. And so once you get there, you're going to want to click on Security. And one thing that you're going to need to do just while you're in here, just go ahead and make sure, it doesn't matter for this, I don't think it matters for this one, but for a subsequent exploit, we're going to need to make sure that the Windows Smart Screen is turned off. So make sure that's turned off just while we're in here. That'll save us some time and pain. So then once we're inside of Systems and Security, we're going to want to go to Advanced Systems and Settings. Which is here somewhere, I'm sure. And click System. And then we're going to click on Advanced Settings, I believe. Yeah, Advanced System Settings. Now that we're inside of Advanced System Settings, we're going to go and click on the Advanced tab. And then we're going to go down to this first box here where it says Performance. We will go ahead and click on the Settings button inside of Performance and go down to make sure that data execution prevention is turned off. So that's going to be in this third tab here. We will click on the tab. As we can see, good thing we checked because, oh no, mine is off. It's a little confusing. They've changed the way this interface works. So in this case, you should have the first radio button selected rather than the second one. So the first one will be for turn on DEP for all essential Windows and Windows programs and services only. If you have the second one selected, it's going to be turned on by default, except for anything that you've put in this allow list. So make sure this first radio button is selected so that it's only turned on for essential Windows programs and services. Once you're done, click OK. Click OK again. Make sure you get out of here. And if you had to turn it off, you're going to need to restart your server in order for that to take effect. I don't need to do that since mine was already off, but I'm going to give everybody a minute to go ahead and restart their Windows server in case you needed to turn off data execution protection. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Glad that it's working again for you, Atik. Okay. So presumably everyone has got their firewalls turned off in every relevant place. You've got data execution protection turned off where it needs to be. And we should be good to go at this point. After you've restarted your Windows machine, we are going to go set it up with some more vulnerable services. Okay, what you're going to want to do next is you're going to visit this address and you're going to download a different vulnerable server called Vuln Server. So you'll visit this site. As you do, it will ask you, what do you want to do here? So make sure that you agree to save the file rather than just open it. For now, we want to save it so that it ends up in our downloads folder. So we select OK, and then everything should download as desired. Let's go ahead and take a look in our downloads file. As you can see here, it downloaded as we wanted it to. So we go in here, and what we will do now is we will right click on the Vuln server, the zip file, and then we'll select extract all right here under that drop down menu. Once we agree to extract all, it will ask us where we want the destination to be. Anywhere is fine. I just left mine inside of the downloads folder as its default spot. It doesn't really matter. So once you have that set up, you will click extract and it will extract to where it's supposed to be. So now you've got your vulnerable server set up. I'm going to redo mine since I probably just corrupted it. Get rid of that too. So we'll do extract all and extract. Good. So everybody should have their, everyone should have their downloads, their vulnerable server downloaded. Okay, so now our Vuln server window has opened. So let's go ahead and actually launch the vulnerable server. Down here at the bottom, you'll see an executable. Just go ahead and double click that. You'll see a security warning, but who pays attention to those things? They're like end user agreements. We don't need to read all that. We're just gonna get rid of it so that it's out of our way. We wanna run it anyway. Okay, so we clicked run on the window and it started up our vulnerable server, as you can see. And it even gives us some more warnings inside the window to let us know that this is not a secure server. So now that our server's launched, let's go ahead and go back to our calling machine, our Linux machine. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to run Nmap against this server, and since we know it's going to be running on port 9999, that's what we're going to put into our port switch. So let's go ahead and run that. So we're going to type sudo -sv e, and then we're going to type the address of our vulnerable Windows machine. In my case, it is 10.128.0.2, but yours might be different. So we've got our Nmap Scan started up and running. Great. take a bit to complete. Taking a little longer than it ought to. So let's see what's going on. You can see the connections are coming through. I'm not really sure what's up yet. Done everything correctly. Should be running okay. Okay. This is a little strange. That's okay. That is not necessarily what we wanted, but we did get the part we really needed right here, which is showing that open TCP port. Let's try that one more time and see if we can get it to run properly. It did not show our vulnerable service. So let me go ahead and restart that vulnerable server and try it one more time. Oh wait, I don't need to do that again. Okay. Go to our downloads folder since we know that's where it's at. Okay, we got it running again. Let's try running our Nmap scan one more time. Everything looks good in our Nmap parameters. Let's wait for that to start making connections. If I have an old version of Nmap, I suppose that's possible, but it did work.
Looks like you got the same one I used.
It did work the day before yesterday, so.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't matter as long as the port's open.
Right. And I may need to restart this machine too. That Windows machine has been taking a lot of abuse. the past few days. Let's see if we get the same weird banner output. It's really strange. Okay. Any reason my port is closed but still says Abyss under service? Yeah, it's weird because I was having a similar issue. I'm gonna go ahead and try and shouldn't do that. I'm gonna go, Sean, you may have a firewall still on because it shouldn't be closed. Oh, that could be it. That could be it. It might need a restart, but I doubt it. I would also just kind of double and triple check your firewall settings, Sean, on your Windows, your vulnerable Windows machine. So I'm gonna go ahead, just for fun, I'm gonna restart. Oh, okay. It worked better. That's strange. That is very unexpected behavior. So if you see, mine completed this time without all the weirdness, but it still says, at least it says open, but it still says Abyss, which is strange because it's not giving me the actual response that we expect from that vulnerable server. Typically, what you're going to see, what I saw the other day, was it gives you back the actual, it gives you back that actual vulnerable server designation. Okay, so let's just try running it and see. All 3 firewalls are off. Are there more steps to this? I had the same problems on the last Metasploit challenge. Bizarre. Okay, so you've got data execution protection turned off, I assume. And you have also turned off the other thing that I mentioned, which was the non-native Windows programs. Where was it? It was here in the control panel somewhere. Sean, it looks like the Windows machine. Oh, interesting. Try restarting it. Yeah, do make sure that it has 2 cores. The other thing is you got to restart it often after changing various security settings, such as the data execution prevention one. You know what? I think I'll restart mine with you just to be sure, but also make sure that this setting is turned off too. So if you go into the control panel, systems and security and maintenance, turn off Windows Smart Screen. So make sure that yours is turned off here through Windows Defender. There's one more place you can look too. Is to go in here and make sure the real-time protection is off. That'll help too. Let's see. Where do I find the core settings for the VM? Okay. Okay. Getting help, that's good.
Can you quickly show again where is the DEP setting? Like how to disable the DEP?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Since they nested a million since they, yeah, it needs to be bigger to run well. It needs more nested configuration settings for sure, right? So let's go ahead and get back in our control panel here. And to get to the DEP, we are gonna go to,
System and security, right?
we're gonna go over here to, I believe it is system and security. And then we're gonna go to system, and then it will be advanced system settings. And then we go to this advanced tab, and then we go to the settings inside of there. And then after that, we click on the third tab for data execution prevention. What's so complicated about that? It's like one step, so simple. And then once that's there, you're going to make sure that you have that first radio button selected. After that's done, you're going to want to click OK, and then you're going to click OK again and get out of here, out of the control panel. And then after that, you're going to need to restart your machine. So go ahead and restart your Windows machine. I am going to do the same just because I'm getting some unexpected behavior here. So I'm going to go ahead and reboot this Windows VM. Because as Sam mentioned, there oftentimes that can be part of the problem. Okay. Yeah, good. Also a good point. Just closing the RDP out does not restart your Windows machine for you. You've got to actually reboot the thing. And then probably gonna have to grab a new RDP file after that. Come on. Not sure why I installed that because it does not work very well. Okay, go back to there and open that up again. Okay, and connect and continue. And we're back up. Now, do that here to our downloads folder again and open up our vulnerable server. Run that. Shouldn't matter as far as the HTTP and HTTPS. You can. Yes, you did see my password. Have fun with that. Okay. I mean, Caitlin already had them all anyway, so. Now we're back in here. We've got our vulnerable server fired up again. It's running again. Let's go ahead and try running that Nmap script one more time, just for fun, and see if we have any different result. The other thing you can do is just test, it's acting weird again. It's really strange. Let's go ahead and close this and just ping our machine and see what kind of response we get. Bugging is fun. Okay, takes our pings, no problem. Okay, just for fun, let's go ahead and ping our Linux machine just because it's a good time. Boy, these Windows instances are not running great today. Alrighty then. Yep, ping works okay. All right. So we know it's not that. Let's restart our vulnerable server. Try it again. Try running our Nmap scan again. Okay, so that time, it's bizarre. That time hit went through, but it showed up as filtered. How strange. Do it again. I wonder if Google's having something going on with their internal cloud networking today. Because
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad.
this is really weird. None of this happened the other day.
So I cannot log into the Windows like.
Wow.
I don't know why I downloaded the file.
They must be having some kind of cloud failure going on right now. Because this is really strange, especially for so many people to be having this problem. I'm curious if anyone else is trying this along with the demo right now. Okay, so look how weird that is. So I ran it one more time and it performed as expected. I didn't change anything at all, except for, the fourth or fifth time that I ran it, it just happened to complete properly. That's really strange. Has anyone else had success and or strange problems? I want to be able to run. I was able to run the exercise. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. So it's really weird. Some of us seem to be able to, others not. So try running it. And I'm gonna just continue now that I've got it working here, and we'll circle back and try and help folks who are still encountering issues. If you are still encountering issues, my best advice is just to keep trying it again, because as you just saw during this demo, I ran it again, didn't change anything, and it performed as expected. So I think there may be some issues going on Google's end, but who knows? These things are capricious and weird. So let's go ahead and, just like with last time, let's fire up our Metasploit console and let's look for an exploit that we can use. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna type sudo Start up our shell. Once that's going, we'll look for our good. Now we've got our shell up, so let's search for server. Okay, so typically you're gonna see nothing here. You're gonna see no results. In my case, you're seeing a result because I totally forgot to delete it. So let's go through that just for now. Let's go through that. Let's open another, go ahead and open another. I know how we can do this to make this good for all of you folks. Let's go and open up another terminal window right now. I think we can do that or not. I'm just gonna exit for now. And we're back in our terminal. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and grab this line right here. And all that's going on here, when we enter this into our command line for Linux, like so, this line, poke it in here. That's not working properly. Let's try that one more time. Okay, there we go. So what we're doing right now is we are going to make another, we're gonna make ourselves this directory here. I'm gonna make, I guess, one more directory so it doesn't, so we don't have a conflict. Oh, and you're gonna need to put on a sudo there, probably. And then let's go ahead and look at that. And then we're gonna we are going to go ahead and open up Nano again, or your text editor of choice. And go ahead and paste this in. I am going to change the name slightly, but you don't need to do that. Now we've opened up a new file. So all we need to do is grab this helpful Ruby code that Sam has put here for us and paste it in. Now, if you were a super elite hacker, you'd have to, make all this on your own and figure it out. But in our case, for purposes of expediency, we're gonna use the customized one. You can also oftentimes find these on the internet in various unsavory and fun places. So now that we've got it entered into our text editor file, let's go ahead and Control X to close it. It's going to ask us whether we want to save, and we will hit Y for yes, and then enter to close. Great. So now we should have effectively created our custom exploit. Okay. So now let's go back into the Metasploit console. So we're going to do sudo -q. Fire that up. Now we're going to need to reload _all. And it will bring everything back up here. And it will load the fresh exploit that we just made and saved. Great. So we've got our little cause and it has reloaded and shows our Oh, I was wondering about that. I thought we might be, yeah, okay. So we should be good now. So let's search for Vuln server again. Okay, so now you can see where we only had one before, because I put it in there, you would have none. Now there are two in here. So there's exploit that we just made. So now that we've populated our exploits, let's go ahead and use the one that we just made. So we're gonna go ahead and we can just copy that line right there. And then we can go type the use command, paste that in. Okay. Not sure what just happened there. We're having issues. Try that one more time.
I think you have a space at the end of the name.
Yeah, that must have been it. Strange. No? Strange. The one at the beginning? Possibly. Okay. Well, it worked that time, so good. Now we've, just as last time, changed into our exploit that we want to be using. So if you're following along right now, we're up to this step in the instructions. So now, as before, when we use show options, let's do show info and see what it tells us. Okay, so cool. We've got a little info page here that you can see some data about that specific exploit, you know, the authors, etc., parameters, and so on. So if you're following along, now we're up to here. As before, let's try show payloads. Wow, so there's a lot there. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the reverse TCP handler. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, I'm going to just grab this line so as not to have any more errors. You can do the same if you want. We've set our payload to use that TCP and reverse TCP handler. And again, let's do show options to see what is necessary for us to pass to in terms of parameters. Okay. Looks like we're going to need to put that remote host in there for sure. And our local host. So let's set these. So set our hosts. And again, that's going to be the IP address of our vulnerable Windows machine. And let's go ahead and do hosts. And that's going to be, again, our Linux attack machine that we're using. Those are configured properly. Now let's try and run the exploit. Oh, and here we have a interpreter shell. Good times. So since we are now inside of our got a shell on our Windows box, let's go ahead and dump those processes and see if we can't find the vulnerable server process. We know it starts with vuln. We'll type vuln/star and it'll give us everything that starts with those first 4 letters. And here we are. Here we have it. We've dumped our process and we know exactly what it's running on. So there is your flag. Flag is asking for the architecture of the target machine. So hopefully everyone was able to get through that and get it working. Before I run through like maybe one more of these, I just want to check in with you folks. We can stop the recording, by the way.
Yeah, I'll stop it and post to that.